Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Yesterday, William Ruto launched some housing projects in Kibra, Soweto. And while launching those housing units, William Ruto announced that he had abolished kazi mtaani, and that those housing units will be providing jobs for the youth. And that move yesterday by William Ruto has been generating a lot of heated political debate. Kenyans have varied opinion on that move by William Samoei Ruto. In this video, I want us to have a look at a tweet by Mutahi Ngunyi concerning that move by William Samoei Ruto. Mutahi Ngunyi: Dear Ruto, take time to study why Uhuru introduced subsidies on unga and fuel, and why he used kazi mtaani to protect the poor. Populism and showbiz will hurt you. Uhuru and the elite are not your enemies. The people will become your enemy. Advice from a friend. Yes. As usual here, I want us to dig deep into that story to see what it means politically. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. Ruto rode to power on a populist agenda, the Hustler Nation, and quite a good number of Kenyans voted for William Ruto based on that. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And for the 43 days William Ruto has now been in power, it's very clear that all the directives William Ruto has put in place are directives that are injuring the so-called hustlers. Immediately William Ruto came to power, he removed subsidies on fuel and on unga. And that has been injuring the so-called hustlers. Hustlers in very many occasions have been seen complaining about that move by William Ruto. Cost of living has gone up. Hustlers are hurting. They are complaining. And then again, if you look at William Ruto has also expanded his government. Principal secretaries, William Ruto has increased them from 42 to 49. Government departments have been increased from 37 to 43. So in all these moves, you are seeing William Ruto just expanding the executive to accommodate his close associates and friends. No hustler is being accommodated in those positions William Ruto is adding. And that so-called hustler is the person who is actually going to be taxed to maintain these dynasties as they occupy those positions. So the hustler is already going to be overtaxed to maintain the dynasties as they occupy those positions. And that is also a move that has not gone on well with quite a good majority of Kenyans, especially the so-called hustlers. And now we are seeing William Ruto abolishing kazi mtaani. Kazi mtaani was employing thousands of jobless Kenyans. Thousands of jobless Kenyans across the country. Now William Ruto has abolished that. And is saying that now these hustlers will be employed in the housing units, in the construction of the housing units. Does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I personally believe that even for the quality of those housing units, for them even to be safe for those hustlers that they are being constructed for, I believe that some expertise is needed in the construction of those houses. Not everybody has the capability and capacity and the skills and the know-how to construct a house. So on that basis alone, quite a good number of hustlers are now kicked out from that housing unit construction, or rather from that project initiative. Kazi mtani, anybody could do it. Whether you are learned, whether you are a fundi or not, anybody could do kazi mtani. It never needed any specialized skills. Constructing a house, I believe, will need some skills, which some hustlers don't have. So on that basis alone, hustlers have already been kicked out, quite a good number. And then these housing units, I don't think William Ruto will be building these houses across the country. Yes. I don't think these houses will be built across the country and then continuously. Because now for William Ruto to say that this construction of these housing units will replace Kazi mtani is as if William Ruto is trying to say that the government will just be building these houses on a daily basis every day, which I think is not possible. And should the government again maybe stagger or delay the construction of these housing units to maybe offer jobs to these hustlers, I don't think again it will be economically viable for the government. In that these housing units, the shorter the duration of these housing units, the shorter it takes to build these housing units, the better for the government. In that the government will save a lot of money that can be channeled to these so-called hustlers. If the initiative is delayed and prolonged, then government is actually going to incur some losses. And the so-called hustlers are going to suffer more. Yes. So personally, I don't think the housing units will be viable, in that they will not be able to sustain these hustlers for a long period of time. Yes. They won't be able to sustain them for a long period of time as compared to the Kazi mtani. So even with those examples alone, you are seeing William Ruto is already on a wrong trajectory. Everything William Ruto does, he is just going against the so-called hustlers, those who voted for him. Every directive and movie he makes just injures that common man there. And again, for Mutahi Ngunyi's post, immediately William Ruto was elected the president, quite a good number of Kenyans felt that come 2027, he was just going to win another election very easily, basing my argument on the fact of it's all along been believed that now he has the instruments of power. But looking on how William Ruto is ruling, is somehow guaranteed and very clear that come that 2027, William Ruto is going to face a very big rebellion amongst Kenyans. And personally, as much as the system might play part in 2027, I honestly believe that if William Ruto continues on this trajectory, then that system will not help him in 2022. He will face a very big wrath amongst Kenyans. Kenyans in their millions and thousands will reject William Ruto and that system of his. And this is why I personally agree, or rather I agree with Mutahi Ngunyi, that the people will hate William Ruto. And you are also seeing that those who also believe that William Ruto could easily win in 2027, they are now changing their minds. They are realizing that this man is not performing. He is not delivering. And it appears that Ruto does not have very good advices. He's seriously messing up, and it's coming out that nobody is giving William Ruto the right advice. If he continues that way, then it's just a matter of time, and William Ruto will face a lot of rebellion amongst Kenyans. Let me stop it there. If you want to support our channel, I've pinned my number on the comment section. contact me through the number or feel free to channel any form of support or contribution to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.